Hello, fans. How you doing? It's me, Frank Sivero. Continue our second part on Frank Sivero YouTube channel, official YouTube channel. Anyway, beyond the scenes of The Godfather Part 2, again, we left off where I was going to get a phone call from Robert De Niro, the unknown Robert De Niro, and we were going to get together and work, meet and work on our characters. So anyway, yes, the call came in the next day, and I was at my pizza place, and he introduced himself. He says, I'm Robert De Niro. Francis Ford Coppola told me to give you a call. I understand. Congratulations to you for getting the role of Django Bernardo. He says, of course, I'm playing Vito Corleone, you know that. So he says, anyway, we could get together and perhaps meet in person. He says, I live here in Manhattan. I said, okay. I know you live in Brooklyn. So at that time, I was living in East New York, Brooklyn. It's a section which is most borderline of Brooklyn and Queens. So we set the date. He says, about tomorrow. I said, okay, where do you want to meet? So finally, we went. He told me the place, and it was near Midtown or somewhere near the 50s, between 8th and 7th. And so anyway, on the way up there, when I arrived in Manhattan, I'm driving through the streets, and it was very congested. New York City is New York City. Manhattan is, everybody's honking horns in here and there. So I see this lady. Wow, I said, there's a lady that I dated. It was a stunning, beautiful lady. I won't go into. She was into fashion and also she became a top actress. And I finally opened the windows. I called her. She said, "Oh, Frank, what are you doing?" I said, "Listen, you won't believe what happened. What happened?" So I just got this role in Godfather Part 2. I said, I'm going to be playing Django Bernardo, which is a very important role. I said, come on, hop in the car, because they're honking a horn. So she gets in the car, and I said, I got to go meet this guy, Robert De Niro. And I said, who is he? I said, well, he's playing Vito Corleone and young Marlon Brando. Obviously, he's done some work. I said, I don't know him either, I might have seen some of his work already. I said, but come on, you come, you join us, get a chance to meet him. You never know, anything could happen, at that time. So, basically, she came. We got there a little early, and Robert De Niro showed up. And he said, nice to meet you, Frank. Congratulations. And I introduced him to the girl. I won't say her name. She was a high-profile girl, and still is. Not very old now, unfortunately. We will get old. So we're going back to 1973. It's 45 years ago. Very close to 45 years ago. So I'm meeting the first time young Robert De Niro in his late 20s. I'm 21 years old myself. And so the girl sat with us. We sat in this place, ordered something. And then we were talking back and forth. She was caught in the middle. And eventually she said, I think I'll let you guys continue a conversation, your conversation, with your characters. And congratulations to both of you. Nice to meet you. And I said, okay, I'll talk to you later. She left. And Bob and I, Robert and I at that time, or Bobby, we continue our conversation. He says, I'm very much interested in listening to your Sicilian dialect. I know that you were born back there and you speak the language fluently. And he said, I spent some time in Sicily. I was there about 6 months, and I went in different villages, picked up different accents here, because it changes. The accents that begin to change from village to village. He says, but I really want to work with you. I said, okay, well, we're going to work together, so we might as well make the marriage work. So we are friends in the movie. We're close friends, and let's make our friendship, grow into a real friendship. So went on back and forth, and finally asked me, he says, is it okay if I come over? I'd like to meet your family. I said, yeah. You want me to come and get you and bring you over? He says, no. I said, Sunday's always good, So the following Sunday, I invited him, and he says, I'll get there. So Sunday came. Obviously, we finished that day, and we left off that we were going to meet that Sunday. And he was going to meet the family. So he came to Brooklyn. I got a phone call, actually. And he says, Frank, it's me, Robert De Niro. I said, hey, yeah, Robert, where are you? He says, I'm here by the station. Euclid station? Euclid, Picking and Euclid? And I said, what the hell are you doing there? He said, well, I took the train. He said, I travel by train a lot, you know. So I'm comfortable. So I said, okay, I'll come and get you. I was only about 3 blocks away. So it was a neighborhood, you know, my neighborhood was a pretty well-known neighborhood. You know, a lot of high-profile movies have been made about that neighborhood, especially in the genre that I have worked. You know, so I go there and get him, bring him over. And I was showing some of the areas and this and that. And so I brought him over to my house. And I told him that corner there is my pizza place. These were all friends here. And I bring him in and I take him down to the basement because we used the basement in those days. That's where we ate. We spent most of our days. And upstairs we used to go to sleep pretty much. And the 3rd floor, we had a brownstone. I remember in the early days when we first moved in here in the mid-'60s. I think we paid $4,000 for the house, and I ended up selling it in 1975 for $18,000. I think today, in 2018, it's going for about $800,000. It's a brownstone. So I introduced him to the family, my mom and dad. And we were 10 children, 7 brothers and 3 sisters. Actually, we were all there for the first time. And my brother-in-law, at that time, my sister was married, and my brother-in-law was actually my cousin, my first cousin. We married cousins in our family, so first cousins. So anyway, I introduced him to him, and he spoke broken English. And my mom didn't speak any English. My dad, you know, they all spoke Sicilian. So so Robert began to listen to all of us and everything. And I finally, after the introduction, hanging out a little bit, having a little bit of this, a little bit of that, I asked him, I said, come on, let me take you to the corner. I said, my friends are hanging out over there. They would like to say hello, you know. And so we got out and we went out to the corner, which was right down the street. I had my pizzeria, and they were hanging out in front of my pizza place, which was open. So, I introduced him to the guys. Now, I just want to let you know that when I met him, and when that day, I think it was Sunday, we normally got dressed up pretty, you know, dress pants. We dressed up like with the way we were supposed to usually dress up, you know. Good clothes, let's put it that way. Dress clothes. Sunday, you know, Sunday was a special day, church day and all that stuff. So we dressed up every night, no matter what, you know. That's the way we were, you know. And hats, suits, hang out most of 5 nights of the week. And the weekends was, of course, girlfriends. Like in the movie Goodfellas, they say Friday nights is a girl, and Saturday nights is the personal girlfriends or wives, you know. Anyway, so when I introduced him to the guys, you know, they all congratulated him, and they were happy that I was in the movie and all that stuff, and also they were happy that he was going to play a young Marlon Brando, Vito Corleone. So some of these guys, I mean, there was a bunch of guys in there, and some of these guys are gone now, you know, may their soul rest in peace, and you know, some are still around. I see them, I talk to them, I revisited my neighborhood. It's no longer the same anymore, but I will continue with that about later. And so one of the guys, actually the older guy of the group, called me on the side, and I figured he had some business to talk about. And he asked me, he says, Frank, he says, this guy is playing Vito Corleone. I said, yeah. You sure he's not a cop? Because he looks like an undercover cop. Now, Robert De Niro is dressed in jeans. He's got holes in his pants. You know, 1973, September 1973. And he's got a long ponytail. And he's got a shoulder bag. You know, kind of look a little bit mysterious. Here we are with dress pants, you know, Spencer shoes, dress shirts. You know, it was still warm, September. And Sunday, you know, we usually normally get dressed up for Sunday also. Hang out in the corner, and then we'll go have our Sunday meals with the family. So anyway, finally, after that, I told the guys, I said, he's got a movie coming out called Mean Street. Says it'll be out on Christmas. I want you guys to go see it. So So sure, we'll definitely love to go see it. So I know there was a little tension in there. I says, Bob, Robert, I says, let's go across the street. I says, it's my social club, our social club. Actually, there were 3 in that block, but this particular one was the one I was pretty much involved with a bunch of other guys, so I took him there, and we began to talk about the language, we talk about where I came from, and he wanted to hear the dialogue. He wanted to really work in it. And by the way, he had a tape recorder with him. He recorded everything that I said in Sicilian, everything from English to Italian and all that stuff. That's how he worked. It was very interesting, and that's proper way of working anyway, especially when you're learning a foreign language. You go over and over. So we spent quite a bit of time inside the social club. This is the place where we used to play cards, obviously. It was a members-only club, if you understand what that means, for the guys. And we had, certain things going on from there. And finally, I said, come on, let's go back and we'll have a bite to eat. I took him back to the house. We ate some stuff. And then he asked my brother-in-law, who actually, again, there was only very few of us that spoke English. And my brother-in-law spoke very broken English. And he spoke, obviously, Sicilian pretty good. That's what he did. That was his first language also. By the way, my brother-in-law was my cousin. His father and my father were brothers. In our family, cousins marry cousins. So he married my sister. He was married to my sister, Kathy. So he asked my brother-in-law, he says, man, he says, it's okay if you and I work on the Sicilian? I said, yeah. You want to go upstairs? He says, come on, I'll take you upstairs so we could talk. So they went upstairs to the first floor, and they went on for maybe an hour and a half. Obviously, my brother-in-law later on, he told me that they went over to a lot of Sicilian dialogue, how he would say this, how he would say that, and he recorded everything. So finally he came down and hung up for a little bit, and he said, I'd like to continue this, so let's do it, I said, okay. And pretty much that's what happened. We continue our conversation, and he said, I'm ready to go, so all right. So he said goodbye to everybody. I took him back to Manhattan. I drove him back there, and he was living in a certain section of Manhattan. I won't say where. And so when I dropped him off, he says, come up. So I'll show you my place. So I went up, and he was the only guy living in that building. So once I got in his place, it was like a whole different atmosphere altogether. It was incredible, clean, very impeccable. A lot of everything was in place. So he says, Frank, I really want to continue to work on our characters. You, Django Badanta, me, Vito Corleone, and of course our friendship. We are, and I want to build up on this. So how you feel? I say, come on, whatever works, whatever's gonna make it happen, let's do it. I don't mind. I'll find time. I'm 21 years old, and he's in the late 20s. I think he was 28, 29 years old. This is Robert De Niro. So anyway, we'll continue our conversation with our next meeting. This is Frank Sivero on Frank Sivero channel, official channel on YouTube. Please continue to watch me. And you can also go on Sivero Frank Instagram. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much.